Alright, so back in the vloggies. Okay, so on the contrary, I packed a Mac Miller. Alright, some thoughts about passion, following your passion and the like. So it seems like a lot of people, like, the notion of following your passion has kind of fallen out of vogue. It's not really seen as virtuous or good or whatevs. And I think, like, maybe it's not just following your passion, it's like kind of curiosity, right? Like, that which you're curious about is what you care for, and as a consequence, like, following your passion is just essentially following your curiosity, right? So things that you're curious about and you care for, right? And so as a consequence, my number one tip for people who want to get into like vlogging, whatevs, right? Or be a content creator, or I prefer the term content producer, or just become a producer, is ultimately what you want to do is you want to produce, you want to make. And it seems that the fallacy that a lot of people fall into is like so the workflow is very simple, right? So there's a difference between giving people what they want, which is more Starbucks Frappuccinos, sugar, Coke Zero, fake stuff, and stuff that gives type 2 diabetes and type 3 diabetes, which is essentially Alzheimer's, and giving people what they quote need, right? Now, you'll call you that, give us what we need, it may not be what we want. And so to me, it's a very interesting philosophical insight, because it's like, who are you to be so presumptuous to, know what people need versus want, right? And I mean, like, my thought is, give yourself what you need, right? And then just share that thought with others, right? So I feel like any really great or grand innovation could only really happen when it is self-motivated, self-driven, intrinsic. You need to have some sort of skin in the game, and you also need to be quote selfish, right? And so, for example, when I started my journey in blogging and street photography, blah, blah, it was like personal curiosity. I'm like, I want to learn how to shoot street photography. All this stuff is so foreign. Like, I see all these great pictures, but how's the sausage being made, right? How do they make the McDonald's chicken McNuggets, right? I want to learn about the pink slime, right? And so as a consequence, my whole personal journey was, like traveling the world, meeting all the famous people, blah, blah. Just figure out how the sausage is being made and sharing my lessons along the way. Now, the reason why I think this is such an effective strategy is, that's the Ferrari guy. I always see him. I think he has two. He has a black one, and he also has a black one. He also has a red one. So I have a new rule. It's called how do you made this rule? It's the two Ferrari rule, the two Lamborghini rule. Only ever buy it if you could afford to buy two of it in cash. But anyway, so I think that the ethics of following your passion is also like that which you might be interested in or you pursue, right? Is often seen as unethical or immoral or blah blah, or kind of a quote waste of time. And one quote that I like from Nassim Taleb is, that which fools call a waste of time is actually often the best use of time, right? So like, Mr. something Dyson, right? Sir James King the Third Dyson, Sir Dyson, he's like tinkering away in his garage for like 15 years. His wife was bankrolling him as a school teacher, and then he essentially finally got the bagless vacuum to work, right? And all great innovators, you'll spend 15, 20, 30 years doing something. You may succeed, you may fail, and history will remember as the winners, right? And so the problem here is truth be told, innovation is kind of a waste of time. It's not a linear progression. You could be like, it's kind of like finding gold, right? It's like you could be chipping away at the gold mine for like 30 years, taking losses the whole way to stomach the losses, right? It's kind of like investing in Bitcoin, right? And then finally one day, boom, it pops, and then you're worth like $500 billion, right? And so, if we take a long view, right? Assuming that Bitcoin is going up forever, right? Assuming that Bitcoin APY is 55% APY, just do the maths, right? Like your $1 million in Bitcoin today is going to be worth $500 billion. $500 billion in 30 years, right? And the reason why this is such a nice thought is if we think about the long term, it's exciting, and then you gotta start planning for the future. I think the hard thing for a lot of people is, right, you can't think about the future if there's no future, right? Non-future. Cindy win. And also, if you're curious, I find the new Panasonic Lumix with the new 26mm f8 fixed focal pancake lens, the prime lens, manual focusing only, super cool. And they blacked out the logos, which is cool. Oh, and just finished reading Emily Wilson's version of the Iliad. Super fire. Shout out to Emily Wilson. Right? And actually, so another thought is like, what are the virtues of using IA mode? Just set it and forget it. You could just vlog away. And also, I think one thing that's really exciting about the F8, this setup for the vlogging, is you don't have to worry about the focus, because at F8 everything is essentially going to be in focus. But people be like, what about the bokeh? The bokeh, right? Like to quote Kaiman Wong, right? You want it to be bokeh-licious? But my thought is bokeh is for losers. I think, obviously bokeh is beautiful insofar much as we don't see reality that way, right? But my critique is, it's just too money dependent, right? Like, obviously, if you have $15,000 to drop on a Noct Deluxe 0.95 lens, you're gonna get more cool, dreamy bokeh, right? But also, one thing you don't know about that lens, the lens weighs like 10 pounds. It's like not fun walking around with, right? And also, it kind of looks like a chode. I think everybody is trying to be like, I think in photography, like everything in life, it's kind of like a big dick measuring contest. But if you already have a 12-inch wee-wee, like, what do you have to prove to the rest of the world, right? If you're curious, what is Air Kim's member? Is 2 inches, ... From the ground! Ooh, yeah, it's just dragging on the floor, right? Gotta wrap it around your legs, right? Wrap it around your left leg. You gotta do the tuck, right? So anyways, I think the hard thing to unpack and to decipher is, innovation, passion, whatevs, right? Like, none of it is a linear progress, and also, for the most part, it doesn't really make sense. It's kind of a waste of time in a lot of people's thoughts. But the ultimate thought is, you're wrong, ... for like 10 years, ... until you're right.